The Alliance services Hampton Downs GT International. It's the opening round of Repco Next Gen NZ for season 2025-26. It is a stunning day here in the northern end of the beautiful Waikato, and the 6th drone cam showing off this tremendous racetrack as we count down to Monochrome GT4 Australia. We have a championship decider to battle out for this amazing field of 25 cars. With more on the stories and how this one is going to play out, let's head to the Shannons pit lane where we find Greg Rust.
That is not me. That is Aaron Seaton, who is apparently Chaz Mostert's #1 fan. As we wander the lane here, good morning, mate. What is this all about?
Absolutely. I saw Chaz had some faces of Tom Heyman and Max Gagan out there, so I just wanted to make everyone aware that I'm Chaz Mostert's biggest fan.
Okay. He's just wandered past you in the lane. Nice hug. Hey, well done yesterday too.
Yeah, thank you. It was pretty cool to wrap up the championship with Jace, obviously. We make a good driver pairing together and develop the car in the right way for our driving styles. We make a good pair, so yeah. Looking forward to today's race, obviously starting from P16, we'll see what we can do, and looking forward to it.
Good on you. There he is, Aaron Seaton. Congratulations. There are multiple classes in Monochrome Australia GT4. He's alluded to one of them there, paired with Jason Gomer. So we're going to wander down the lane here. Some of the GT3 cars that you'll see in action a little bit later today. Renee Gracie's that she shares with Damon Leach. Leach was unbelievable yesterday. Where he positioned that car at the dipper to make some passes was spectacular to watch. Here's Brad Schumacher. Yeah, nice and relaxed at the moment, sir. Can you take in a bit of GT4 racing? Do you enjoy watching it?
I love watching it, especially after yesterday. These guys are going to have to behave themselves today, turn one, aren't they? So, no, look, any racing's great here, and particularly in GT cars around this circuit is super exciting, and it's great to see so many fans out here today as well.
Yeah, Brock did a cracking job. I mean, you both did really yesterday, and you've put yourselves in with a fighting chance of doing this in GT3 this afternoon. What's the approach? What's the mission, Brad?
It's maximum attack, mate. It's no, I can really feel some momentum here, and we're feeling really great at Audi Sport MPC. And yeah, Brock drove the wheels off that car yesterday, and you can expect that he'll be doing exactly the same thing today, and as will I. Right. So we won't be leaving anything on the table, Rusty.
All right. Kia ora, bro. That's how we say it. You know that, don't you?
I don't.
Okay. He's having a great time. They all are. And we need to say congratulations to the guys and girls at SRO from Australia. I mean, they're a global body that look after GT racing. But the work that has gone in to bring these cars, to ship them to New Zealand for this final round, everyone's really enjoying themselves. So at the moment, this is Method Motorsport. Why don't we wander in here if we can? I don't know if the microphone's going to work all the way. Here's Tommy Heyman. Come over here for a quick second. So he's paired with Max Gagan, but we swap things when it comes to the Sunday races. So those that started yesterday will finish the race today and so on. So hey, bit of work to repair your car yesterday. How are you looking for Sunday?
Yeah, well, the car obviously looks good. Massive credit to the whole team to get this car rebuilt overnight. She was pretty battered and bruised, so it looks good, and hopefully we're fast.
The boss has got a smile on his face. For both of you to work with Chaz, you know, around the car and then even beyond that, has been a huge thing this year, hasn't it?
Yeah, obviously yesterday probably showed. We were both pretty down in the dumps, so he picked us up, and we're happy to go racing today.
All right, final one for you. This has been a tough championship, mate, hasn't it? It's been a joy for us in a broadcast sense and for the fans. It's gone to another level, Monochrome GT4 this year. It's been hard fought, hasn't it?
Yeah, obviously compared to last year, it's, the numbers have grown and the competition's got a lot more fierce. So it's been an awesome year to race some of these guys, and hopefully it keeps growing into next year.
Are you a nervous spectator at moments like this? What happens?
I think, yeah, at the moment I'm pretty nervous, but I trust Maxie. He's going to get us into the lead after turn one, and we'll have a good race.
Good on you, mate. Nice to chat with you. Thank you for doing that before we go racing. So we wander out into the lane. Next door to us is the Lubramax team, right? So George Miedeke, Rylan Gray. Here is a proper legend, Andrew Miedeke. So hello, sir. Welcome to New Zealand. Are you enjoying yourself? And what a day yesterday by the guys.
Oh, it was a day. It was a great day, wasn't it? The race was all on. But we've got the pressure on today because we're leading the championship by 6 points. But there's 7 points between first and second today. So we've got to finish in front of the McLaren, and we've got a 15-second longer pit stop. So the boys have got a job in front of them, but we'll see how we go.
All right, we'll leave you to it. I'm going to wander into the garage. Thank you for talking to us, because inside here are a couple of eagle-eyed youngsters who were first and second when it came to the racing yesterday. Firstly, what happens in moments like this? Is it friendly banter? What goes on between the pair of you?
Yeah, we just take the mick out of each other at the moment, but yeah, watch the race today, see what happens. Yeah, just waiting for it. Hopefully George gets a good jump and gets the lead, and then go from there.
Great opportunity for you in the Super, and you get to pair with his dad. What's it like driving with Ryland's dad?
Yeah, no, it's cool. Like, it was cool to finish 1 and 2. Like, cool for Jeremy and Ryland as well. You know, it's not very often that a Pro-Am gets on an outright podium, so a little bit longer in the pit stop today, so we'll see where we end up. Hopefully, yesterday I was dead last after turn 1, so hopefully Jeremy gets a better start than I do. And once I jump in the car, he puts me in a good position, and we'll do the best we can.
On the plus side, good hit out for the Supras this weekend. They've been good here at Hampton Downs, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously the McLaren's pretty fast, the Mustangs are pretty good, but I think, you know, we lack probably a bit of testing. If we did another test day, I think we both could have qualified a little bit better and just put ourselves in a bit better position, but we didn't really have the opportunity to do so. So I think for the mileage that we've done in the car, we've done very well.
On you. Great stuff. Nice to talk with Taylor Bryant there and with Ryland Gray. We're nearly out of time here. There's a little impromptu wander of the lane here for Monochrome GT4. Time to take you to commentary as we count down to the race start. Final one of what's been a cracking season in 2025. Here's Richard Crail.
Greg Rust, it's been a breakout season for Monochrome GT4 Australia. Massive grids and utterly compelling racing from day dot. Hampton Downs International Circuit, Ronan Murphy, 3.8 Ks and a lot going on.
Critical to get a good run out of turn 1 down that long back straight. Obviously go through the infield there into the double B, corner 6 and 7. That's a tricky one. Up through the double hairpins, turn 8 into the Porsche Dipper, turn 9 and get a good run out of the final corner onto the front straight, Richard Crail.
And the 6th drone cam will see the 25 cars that make up this Monochrome Australia GT4 grid roll out on their formation lap and then into the rolling start. Now, yesterday was combative, to say the least, and Method Motorsport have patched up the number 25 McLaren Artura GT4. The situation is pretty simple in the Silver Class Championship. If they finish the way they are right now, Tom Heyman and Max Gagan would win the championship by 1 point. If the Mustang beats the McLaren, the Mustang wins the championship. And then there's other permutations depending on where they finish. But as you heard from motor racing legend Andrew Miedeke down in pit lane, that Ford Mustang, because they had such a good day yesterday, will serve a longer pit stop today. They will spend 15 seconds in the Shannons pit lane. So they have got it all to do. George Miedeke, who will start, and Ryland Gray, who will finish. But as we saw yesterday, that Method Motorsport McLaren had more hits than Elvis. So they're going to have a job to do to get to the finish in this one.
It was a wild race yesterday, Richard Crail, to kick off Monochrome GT4 Australia here in New Zealand. And not that I don't have faith in them, but I was quite surprised to see Dan Gaunt and Greg Murphy leading at different points yesterday. That was not what I had in the playbook for yesterday, but obviously two very well-credentialed drivers in the past and have got a lot of experience here in the New Zealand circuits. So that was quite a pleasant surprise.
It was quite well-credentialed, you could say, for some of those two guys. It's a great field, and we're looking forward to playing this out. For clarification, the driver on the left, the first-name driver, will be the starting driver today. So Max Gagan, George Miedeke, Summer Rintel, who was awesome yesterday, Jake Camilleri flying solo in the 36, Ryan Sorensen the same in the 24 McLaren, and Zoe Woods starts for TechWorks in the Porsche. Jacob Lawrence stole a win in the AM class in turn 9 of 10 in the race on the last lap yesterday. James Sachs, the Kiwi, in the Mercedes AMG entry. Chris Lewis and Nathan Callahan were out of yesterday's race at turn 1. Jeremy Gray, what a performance yesterday. Second outright Silver AM class win with Taylor Bryant and followed his boy home. So the Greys were 1 and 2 on the road in yesterday's race. Dean Campbell and Cameron Crick were a non-finisher. Watch out for Kent Quinn and Caleb Patterson, the Aussie Racing Cars racer, in their Porsche. And there's a few more names down the back of the field. Teenager Jay Murray will jump aboard the Morris BMW he shares with his dad Nathan. And the Loves in the AMG will go off the back of the grid. So here we go, a championship showdown, and the fans for Tommy Heyman and Max Gagan are out and about here at Hampton Downs. They start this one from pole position in the black and green Method Motorsport McLaren. Their championship rivals, the leaders in the silver class, are on the outside of the front row. It's all to play for in the final race of a big season in Monochrome GT4 Australia. The red lights go out and we wage into combat for the final time this year, and instantly the Mustang sweeps across the bows of the McLaren and leads them through turn 1. Everyone holds their breath in the field, a couple checking up, Zoe Woods in the TechWorks Porsche hesitated on the outside, and that caused a few just to check up behind, and that Porsche's lost a bit of ground around the outside. Goes Max Gagan side by side at turn 2. Challenge to find room on the outside. He'll squeeze down the inside into 3. Can the McLaren get the lead back?
And that's where the McLaren really comes into its own, doesn't it, Krause? The a little bit lower centre of gravity in that car. It's obviously a light, nimble GT-style car, and it managed to get past the big Mustang there out of the exit of turn 2. The rest of the field makes their way around there. We saw Tony Quinn there in the game over car. As we come over the double B corner, it's McLaren followed by a Mustang, Mercedes and another Mustang coming through there. The rest of the field making their way through cleanly, a lot cleaner than yesterday's lap 1.
Well, actually, brilliant start from Jake Camilleri in the Mobil 1 Mustang's got himself up to 3rd on the road, hassling the leaders at the moment. He's racing solo and right in the mix. So he's jumped Summer Rintle in the Mercedes AMG. She's back to 4th position.
And James Sachs has jumped up about 3 positions. He's now in 5th place there in behind Summer Rintle. So it's a McLaren leading 2 Mustangs and 2 AMG Mercedes right in behind, making up the top 5.
Watch for the Toyota Supras in the mix as well. As we touched on earlier, those cars have been very strong here at Hampton Downs. A lot of them run by local teams. I spoke to Garth Walden at GWR Australia. They've got that car patched up as well. The Tim Berryman, Daniel Frugas car that started this race in 14th position. 1 lap down, an hour of racing still to go. McLaren and Ford out in front. A championship battle up for grabs between these 2 cars.
And Max Gagan has not managed to get massively away from George Medicki there. He's still right in within aiming range there, going down towards turn 2. Camilleri there in 3rd place. He's not too far behind either to try and capitalise. We see James Sachs looking up the inside of Summer Rintle. Didn't quite pull it off. Rest of the field coming around there. Alan Sargent and another one of those Toyota Supras. Dean Campbell.
There's Grant Aitken a little bit further back in the number 10 Audi, sharing with Greg Murphy. A little internal battle between he and Tony Quinn and Daniel Gaunt. So looking forward to seeing how that one plays out. The 101 car up to 19th position with TQ behind the wheel. Gaunty will jump in the back half of the race. There's a couple of the Toyota Supras in the mix. Kent Quinn, Dean Campbell, the DA Campbell Transport Mustang. Unfortunately, they had an outside shot at a championship in Silver Am yesterday, but they were damaged early. They had broken rear suspension on that car, so completed exactly 0 laps. So they're looking for a bit of restitution today, trying to get a few more positions and a few more championship points in what will be potentially 2nd position.
They're all making their way through the Porsche Dipper on the 2nd lap around in this hour-long race. Coming down to the last corner there, you can see the BMW and the 777 Porsche Cayman coming around. Slightly different lines they take through there. Obviously, the cars have got different strengths and weaknesses in this class, so you're trying to capitalise on your car's strengths and minimise the weaknesses. Coming up across the start-finish line to complete another lap and commence another one. Deep, big braking down there into turn 1, past the 50 board.
That was the Legrand Porsche. Boys from West Australia, Chris Lewis and Nathan Callahan, and they're under some pressure as they run down towards turn 2. And now they put the attack on Jacob Lawrence, so they're running 7th and 8th. Marcus Liddell just in behind in the 99 Motorsport car. Gagan out in front now, 1 second in front of George Medicki, and the juxtaposition between those 2 cars is crazy, isn't it? A big V8 powered Ford Mustang chasing down the turbocharged mid-mounted McLaren. But that's what the balance of performance that evens out the competition in GT racing does. And you get this intense competition in cars with different strengths and different weaknesses. The Wade replay will talk us through the race start, and so will Ronan Murphy.
Yeah, obviously going down towards turn 1 there. The Ford's obviously got the grunt, and it managed to squeeze up ahead of the McLaren. We see there Summer Rintle filing in there behind Camilleri. So go down the back straight here. Everyone managed to get through cleaner, a lot cleaner than yesterday. The field of cars, we can see a bit of juggling going on in the mid-pack there. Big gaggle of cars there going down the middle, but George Medicki, he managed to take the lead. Heading down the straight, he moved it over slightly just to defend from Max Gagan, and Gagan went straight around the outside, that little light, nimble McLaren, and he managed to hold it on the outside there and get up the inside at turn 3 and take the lead, which he's now extended out to 1.3 seconds.
James Sachs finds himself under pressure from Jacob Lawrence, 5th and 6th position, but this is the battle for the AM class victory as well. Kinloch Estates Mercedes AMG GT3, car with 56. And the Randall Racing Group have fielded 3 cars in every round this year. The Lawrence boys have put on a really good show, very professional outfit, and Jacob's going to squeeze down the inside here. He stole the win in the AM class in the final lap yesterday. He's trying to wrestle it away a little bit earlier in this one. Jacob will carry more pit stop penalty time, of course, for winning yesterday, so he'll be 15 seconds longer in pit lane. Early track position is one way to get around that extra stop time. It's great racing. BMW can't squeeze its way past yet. James Sachs holding on.
And how good was that? They went about 3 or 4 corners in a row, side by side, without any contact. We see there Lawrence now trying to go up the inside of James Sachs. Sachs has run a bit wide on the exit of the double B corner there. He's going to lose the position to Lawrence and maybe even to Marcus Liddell as well, as he looks up around the outside there in the big white V8 Mustang, going up the little straight, up over the rise, down into Porsche Dipper here. Liddell's now up the inside of James Sachs, so hasn't been the greatest of laps for James Sachs. He's now lost 2 positions there in his AMG Mercedes. And Lillis there in the 777 car will be the next one looking to capitalise, with Ryan Sorensen not too far behind in the second Method Motorsport McLaren.
And a real example there of just losing momentum and getting hustled out wide, and it doesn't affect you for 1 corner, it affects you for 2 or 3. And that's what happened for James Sachs there. Has the variety there though. So BMW, Ford Mustang, and then a Mercedes AMG. So they come into shot, you can check it out. Then the little Porsche Cayman 718, which is the tiniest car in this field. Behind that is Ryan Sorensen in the second of the Method Motorsport McLaren Arturas, and then the Toyota Supra GT4 of Alan Sargent, and then another Supra just in behind with the Porsche, the TechWorks car on the comeback try with Zoe Woods, the Queenslander, behind the wheel. It's a great variety in this battle pack, and they've all got that ability to run nose to tail. 1.6 seconds the race lead in the silver class. By the way, you can split your classes in our timing totem left of screen. The silver position number, so 1 through 4, you can see it's silver coloured. That means they're in the silver class. The AM class is red, so Jacob Lawrence is leading that. Jeremy Gray is up front in the silver AM class in 11th position outright on the road. And it doesn't matter if you're first, 15th or 20th. If you're first in class, you get the big trophy and potentially win that championship. So there's a category that allows everyone to compete evenly. And then the bigger picture is where you finish on the road in the outright battle in Monochrome GT4 Australia.
And James Sachs is still there in 7th. He's leading the New Zealand contingent of cars in the 56th, the Kinloch Club Mercedes AMG GT4. Alan Sargent's there in 10th, and the first of the Race Lab entered Toyota Supras there, the 107 car. Looking a bit further down the field, we can see Sean Varney and Glenn Chappell there in the 635 car, and second of the Race Lab Supras there in 19th. So great to see some New Zealand cars also adding a bit more flavour to the field and bumping those numbers up. It's great to see, and obviously they're having a great time out there enjoying the competition against the Australian counterparts.
And this feels like a bit of an opportunity too, Ronan, doesn't it, that we're going to see a few more GT4 cars in this part of the world. It's boomed in Australia because it's the right balance of affordability versus high-level competition, manufacturer support. There's a young driver element to it as well. We've seen Rylan Gray strut his stuff in this category and show people what he's about, and part of that has resulted in a supercars drive. Of course, he's been running Super too, but the awareness that he's had to forward through this as well has been critical. It's such a good category, and it's going gangbusters in Australia, and it'd be cool to see more cars over here as well competing in Somerset GT New Zealand. It's a great access point for GT racing.
Absolutely, and just so cool to see such a variety of cars. You know, they're not too dissimilar to what you see driving around on the road. You can go into the store and buy the road-going counterpart of these cars. It almost is, you know, race on Sunday, buy on Monday, almost in a way. So it's great, and it's got relevance to the public and to people watching the racing. When you start looking at GT3 cars and whatnot, they take it to another level. But the racing in this class is just brilliant, as we see there, one of the Supras.
Is that Alan Sargent? Was running in 10th position in this massive freight train, this battle. He's kept it out of the wall, but it's an awkward point to do a U-turn there. Right at the top of the blind crest as the field attacks out, and he's going to rejoin in front of Tony Quinn in the 101. What a shame. He was running 10th outright. He was 6th in the AM class. Alan Sargent, a regular in Somerset GT New Zealand, goes straight back onto the offensive, has a crack at Grant Aitken at the Porsche Dipper. The Wade replay shows us what happened.
Yeah, I couldn't quite see from that angle whether he maybe got some contact or not, but it's still a very easy corner. You're coming out of that hairpin. We've seen it plenty of times before. This is a bit better angle. We'd be able to see, yeah, he's just lost it by himself. So he's obviously come out of there, maybe just gotten onto the power a little bit too early and still got a lot of steering lock in the car. And then as he started to unwind the lock, the power's kicked in and really started to wind that car around. We've seen it happen before, and we've seen people crash at that part of the circuit before, particularly in slippery conditions. So very easy to do, and great to see Alan manage to get it going again and to rejoin the race.
That is the race leader. The Method Motorsport McLaren leads the way. Ford Mustang in second and in third position as well. Max Gagan leads in Monochrome GT4 Australia. The margin is 2 seconds exactly. So trying to build this gap, they'll get a little bit more pit stop advantage. Of course, there'll be 15 seconds less in the lane for Medicki and Gray. So right now, all the pressure is on the Ford Mustang. They must deliver in this race to try and claim that championship, or it could swing back the other way to the Method Motorsport camp. There is so much more to play out in this one.
Yeah, and at the moment the cards are obviously stacked a little bit against the 35 car, but as we saw yesterday, Richard, anything can happen in these races. You never speak too soon. We've got 43 minutes left, and the first 17 minutes haven't been quite as chaotic as the first 17 minutes of the race one yesterday.
Which is good.
Exactly, it's good, but it's you never know. It can change in the blink of an eye, and that is why we all love motor racing, because you just never know quite what's going to happen. But as we see there, Lillis there in the 777 car getting chased by Ryan Sorensen and Zoe Woods there, doing a great job in 10th place. I'm sure, shout out to Rob Woods, he's probably at home on the couch, pulling his hair out. Yep, but no, great to see. She's doing a great job there, chasing down that McLaren. Looking up the inside, actually, for a pass. Moved back in. Sorensen went a little bit defensive there. And Jeremy Gray just there in 11th, right in behind those guys as well. So as we look further down the field, Jason Gummersall there, he's in 13th. They obviously wrapped up the championship already. Dean Campbell there in 14th, Ken Quinn there in 15th.
There's a position change potentially. Ryan Sorensen looking up the inside of Chris Lillis, the West Aussie aboard the Legrand Porsche. Couldn't quite get it done. These two cars, different brands, but run out of the same stable at Method Motorsport. That's the double B. Really awkward corner when watched from the outside of that Friday practice. And there's a bunch of different opportunities for lines and mistakes to be made on the exit of that corner. And it sets up good racing like this, through the trade zone hairpin and then down towards the Porsche dipper. Sorensen commits this time and squeezes down the inside and gets the pass done.
And Zoe Woods is going to look to capitalise on this as well. She's now running side by side with Lillis up the back straight. Going to be on the wrong side of the road coming into the last corner here, but she's late on the brakes. Sweeps around the outside. Brilliant pass there from Zoe Woods. So she's carried that momentum that Ryan Sorensen created there with that initial pass and managed to capitalise as well. So got some clear air in front of the 210 car now. Going to be handing it over in a great position to Nash Morris later in the race.
We've seen Porsche Caymans going at it in the Porsche NZ Championship this weekend at Repco Next Gen NZ. They've been providing entertaining racing, doing the same in Monochrome GT4 Australia. And that Supra just closing onto the back. Jeremy Gray, Ryland's dad, following on this battle pack, looking to get a few more positions off a podium and a class win in the race yesterday. Mustang still battling behind Jason Gomersall and Aaron Seaton's car, who were caught up in those dramas early at the start of the race yesterday. Behind them, Dean Campbell, the Bathurstian. That means you're from Bathurst, by the way, in case you didn't work that out. He's a passionate racer. He's got Cameron Crick alongside him. Here's another of the Porsches going at it, the Neurogenic Proteins car. Kent Quinn is running in 16th position at the moment. He's in a battle with Glenn Nerwin and Zach Suter, who are just behind them on the road, and blazing past them was Tim Berryman from Country New South Wales, who is in that repaired and patched up GWR Australia Toyota Supra. This is a change of position for third on the road. Summer Rintle, the teenager, 888 Race Engineering run this Mercedes AMG. Jared Hughes, one of the up-and-coming young stars of Aussie Motorsport as well, is the co-driver, but Summer has just passed the very experienced Jake Camilleri and gets to third place. Nice move.
Great pass, and that's obviously been coming for a little while now, so Summer Rintle's obviously got some momentum under her at the moment and managed to get the move done as we look at the Wade replay. So she come out of the first of the hairpins up towards the Porsche dipper, set it up beautifully, nice down the inside. Jake gave her plenty of room, got the move done. So they're going to now both push on and try and chase down Max Gagan and George Medicke, who are a little bit further up in front. There's about a 9-second gap to those guys. So bit of work to do now for Summer, but she's got fresh air in front of that 888 run Mercedes, JGI sponsored Mercedes, and it's all to play for still for the top 3.
And you might be wondering why 888 Race Engineering, okay, Repco Supercars Championship powerhouse, how come they're involved in GT racing? Well, they're the Australian agents for Mercedes AMG Motorsport. They are the distributor of those cars in Australia, so they're keen to maintain a presence, and it was up till recently they were running cars in GT World Challenge as well with the GT3 Mercedes AMG. But they've got big raps on those two young kids basically running their 87 car. They've been a really fun combo too. They're short on stature, those two, in that car, but they are big on personality, and I'm here for that. Really great, entertaining characters, and they can both drive a racing car, Jared Hughes and Summer Rintle, and they've had a bunch of podium finishes this season. Haven't quite cracked it for the race win yet. Feels like they're not far away, and today could be an opportunity. 11 seconds behind Max Gagan, the race leader, and about 9 seconds behind George Medicke, who's currently in 2nd place. So they're a chance today, and there's Hughesy belting himself up, getting himself ready to go.
Race winner from the GT World Challenge race yesterday, Brock Feeney there in the background in supporting the 888 team down there in the pits. But going back to the shot we just saw before, Grant Aitken and Lawrence and Nathan Murray were having a great battle further down the pack. But we go back to the front there. Max Gagan, George Medicke, just under 3.5 seconds behind him. So he's trying to keep him honest here, trying to keep that gap as minimal as he possibly can. So when they come in to do their mandatory pit stops, that time loss is minimised. About 10-second gap now back to Summer Rintle as well. So their top 2 are pretty comfortably ahead now. They're well and truly running their own race. We've got a car on the wall there, the 66 car.
Suzanne and Liv Palermo in the BMW M3. This is one of the older generation cars.
Down at the Porsche Dipper, it looks to be Krause. So that's in pretty deep. Could have been potentially maybe a brake failure of some sort or an ABS issue, because that car is well and truly deep in there, but they managed to pulling it out.
Wow. It's done a really good job of getting out. Oh, have they got far enough? Are they going to avoid a safety car? They are. Outstanding job, and the heart was in the mouth of Method Motorsport for a period there, and also probably more so for the Lubrimax Mustang team, because the last thing they needed with 13 seconds to the next best car in class was a safety car, because that margin disappears. The pit stop window would open basically on a restart, and they would tumble down the field. That's a bullet dodged there for the 35 team, especially because a safety car for them would have been hugely costly.
Yeah, that would have been an ice cream headache for a few of the teams down there, and certainly would have changed the complexion of this race. So great job there by Palermo to get that car out, as we see the Wade replay of what's actually happened. So a little bit of a lock-up down there, so maybe it does have an ABS issue, because that shouldn't be locking a tyre like that. And then, yeah, it's going off the road there at the Porsche Dipper. Looked like probably wasn't a lot of chance of being able to stop that car. So I'm sure they're still running along there, another lock-up. So I think that car's probably going to need to maybe have a check up in the lane to see what's going on, because it's not ideal when you're locking tyres like that, especially in a class with ABS.
And they're not far from the mandatory pit stop, so they'll try and stay out as long as they can. Otherwise, you just burn more time by having to stop twice. Doing the right thing there, Liv Palermo letting the field go through to go a lap down. At this point, probably it won't make too much of a difference. Shout out to the team in race control as well for not throwing the safety car straight away, for giving them the opportunity to get that car back out under its own steam. So they do their very best to try and keep the race organic, basically. Keep it clean without throwing in a safety car intervention. They only want to throw the safety car if safety demands it. In that case, they give it every opportunity. It was a long way off the road to try and get that car on the track. We're racing towards the pit stops. Monochrome GT4 Australia, 35 minutes to go.
And the gap between Max Gagan and George Medicke, issue there for Berryman in the number 9 Supra. Bit of a spin, sort of similar, actually in a similar spot to Alan Sargent, but he's managed to get it going again. So Great job there from him. But as I was saying, reiterating just before, the gap between Max Gagan and the number 25 Method Motorsport McLaren and the 35 Madiki Ford. As we see there a replay of what's actually occurred. Oh, he might have got a helping hand there from Sean Varney and another one of the Supras.
The super-friendly fire this weekend, it's going to be a concern for Toyota GR Motorsport. There's been a lot of contact between the Supras. They'll sell some parts, but that's not the goal.
There's a bit of a Super Armada out there, but they're not really working together too well or playing very nice. But as we were saying just before, the gap a couple of laps ago between the two leaders was around 3.5 seconds. It's now dropped to 3.2. So not a huge change, but it will be encouraging for the Madiki team to see that George is actually closing that gap to Max. Max is obviously probably managing as well. He doesn't have to be pushing too hard. He's got fresh air on the front of that car and on the front tyres, but it's still encouraging to know that he's not pulling away out ahead. As we see there, the 635 car of Sean Varney and Glenn Chappell there just in the lane now. Maybe having a check on the front of that car after the contact with Tim Berryman and the number 9 Toyota Supra.
There's the race lab team in pit lane, ducking in while we build for this battle between them. So as a reminder, this team had a shocker yesterday. They were last of the silver class cars to finish. We're talking about the Method Motorsport McLaren. So they have no additional pit stop time in this race. They will have the 106 seconds mandatory time, which is from the 40k line at the entry to pit lane and the 40k line at the exit of pit lane, the de-restricted line when you can get back onto the gas at full speed.
As we see there, obviously Method Motorsport overnight did a great job to get that car repaired. You can still see a few battle scars of maybe some panels they didn't get time or didn't have in stock to replace, but they've done a great job get that car back out in front, starting off the pole position. And we're 28 minutes into this race and they're comfortably in the lead with 3.5 seconds over George Medicki.
And you can feel the pit stop brewing when there's a little bit of colour popping onto the timing screen. So we get green figures when someone sets a personal best sector time, and you get purple ones when someone sets a session best sector time as the D.A. Campbell transport car pops in. And Jacob Lawrence has just done a PB, so too Ryan Sorensen, and off the road goes that BMW again, this time a long way off. And if you're a team now in pit lane, I think you're screaming at your driver to get into the lane to do this pit stop. The 101 is in as well. Tony Quinn, after a stint, will jump out, and Daniel Gaunt will jump into that car. Well, twice, remarkably, out of what are massive and very deep gravel traps here at Hampton Downs. That BMW is going to drive out.
Yeah, maybe I didn't realise that the ABS has failed, because it's now twice that they've gone pretty far off the road. We see there Grant Aiken getting out of the number 10 Audi and Greg Murphy getting in. Tony Quinn watching on, asking his mate how his stint went. Quinny and Grant Aiken there, good friends, racing against each other this weekend in their cars with Greg Murphy and Dan Gorn as co-drivers. As we see the 66 BMWs now getting going again, as we see a Wade replay, huge lock-up, sending smoke signals for days down there at turn 1. That was, I think those front tyres on that poor BMW have probably been turned into 50-cent pieces.
Oh, they do a bit of drifting here at Hampton Downs, and generally not out in the dirt like that.
It went from a drift car to a rally car just about in one sense, and we've got an issue here with the Mercedes.
Well, it's been quite tight, Ronan, getting into pit lane, and the D.A. Campbell transport team was servicing the Ford Mustang, so Summer Rentals had to come in at an angle and park that Mercedes, and they've had to straighten it up. Fortunately, they've got some time. You can take a breath and pause in these pit stops, because you do have quite a long time. They don't need to be rushed. They're going to serve an extra 10 seconds on account of finishing second for the 4th time this season, by the way, in race 1 yesterday.
Yeah, so these are the extra time in the pits for Jared Hughes and Rylan Gray is only going to help Tom Heyman when he gets into that McLaren, being that he doesn't have any additional time after the result yesterday. As we see there, Jeremy Gray handing over the 67 car to Taylor Bryant, being run out of the Action Motorsports stable, New Zealand run team. Sean Hayes at the helm of the team.
Taylor did a ripper job yesterday, didn't he? Great pace, running in the top 5 and 6 throughout most of that race early on. another young Kiwi driver making their mark in Monochrome GT4. It was cool to see some of the Bridgestone GR86 guys get an opportunity to run this year with Tony Quinn. Chris Wright Jr. came over and did a couple of rounds and really impressed. So it was that opportunity to go and run TQ's Supra in this championship for some of the young Kiwi talent from this part of the world. Was a big part of our championship this season.
Yeah, very cool. Hugo Allen and Chris White Jr. both got an opportunity to drive that car throughout the season, and great for the young guys. You know, give them an opportunity in a GT-style car after the Bridgestone GR86 Championship last summer. Always really cool, and obviously TQ, Tony Quinn, big supporter of young New Zealand talent and New Zealand motorsport. But as we see there, the 25 car, the McLaren Artura GT4, still out in the lead, but he had a big slide on the entry there, almost backed it in. It was good bit of car control there from Max Gagan. These two are still running along pretty strong at the moment. George Medicki there, he's just avoiding that debris that's in the middle of the track, obviously from some contact at some point.
Well, they're still pushing very, very hard. So last time by 38.7 for Maxi Gagan, playing a 38.0, which is the quickest lap of the race so far. There's the Medicki Motorsport team just giving Ryland Gray a pep talk before he jumps aboard this car. They'll go around one more time before they make the stop. You can go all the way to the end. So right now they're playing the track position game. They want to build as big a margin as they possibly can over the rest of the field before they bail into Shannon's pit lane. Speaking of, that's where we find Rusty.
Krause, I'm just down with the Race Lab team. So the Golden Homes Supra of Varney and Chappell has come back into the lane, and they have got it up off the decks. They changed the left front tyre on that car. They actually thought they had a puncture, but there's no evidence of a puncture. So that looks like this car, the 635, is out. They're just focusing on Alan Sargent getting his stop done at the moment, but it does seem as though the Golden Homes entry is out.
It's a shame for those guys. It's been such a good part of this weekend as welcoming the New Zealand competitors into the Aussie Championship. It's tight down there in pit lane. James Sachs gets the Mercedes AMG into the box, and he'll get his service. 106 seconds from pit entry to pit exit. Alan Sargent leaves the lane. Leaders yet to stop. The margin 4.7 seconds. So you saw that moment from Max Gagan into the Porsche Dipper. The car was sliding and moving around. Well, the reason is he is absolutely hustling at the moment. Saw one G Murphy there just looking to make a move.
Yeah, the BMW ahead of him looked like it had a bit of remnants of a Somerset board on the front of it. So that won't be helping the breathing of that BMW coming up the big long front straight here at Hampton Downs International Circuit. So we see Murphy goes up the inside there of one of the Randall Motorsport, the number 33 car.
Greg currently scored in 21st position in car number 10. Rowan Bailey Love behind, but just swapped that position. Still waiting for timing to cleanse itself a little bit after the pit stop sequence is complete. Leaders have gone around again remarkably, so they're pushing this right to the very end of the mandatory pit stop window. In comes Jake Camilleri from fourth place on the road in the Mobil 1 Ford Mustang. Switched to this car mid-season, having raced Mercedes AMG at the start of the year. Owns and runs the Grand Prix group in Brisbane, based out of Caboolture, a car dealership group up there. Was famous for a long time, running a little Mazda 3 production car, the Turbo MPS, and beating Evo Lancers and Subarus and big HSVs in it as well. If it ever rained, Jake Camilleri was going to the front in that car. He's a very talented driver. And because he's driving solo, the rules are that you need to jump out of the car and then jump back in the mandatory pit stop window, which is what's happening there.
Yeah, that's a beautiful livery on that black Mustang with the red and blue stripe. Sorry,
Ronan, just at the front of the car watching the phone was Simon Hodge, who's engineering that car, Gold Star champion in Australia in 2014, and one of the engineers at Premier Racing, and got himself a Bathurst podium a couple of weeks ago as the engineer of the car to James Golding and David Russell to Shannon's pit lane as the leaders enter. Greg Rust, this is the big moment in the race.
It sure is. Quick little moment, the little positive moment here at Team Suter Motorsport. I just witnessed Glenn Nerwin giving a massive hug to Zach Suter's dad. He's just told me, you know, he's got a rallying background, has done a bit of TCR stuff, but that drive he's just done now in their McLaren, he feels is a PB for him, one of the best drives of his career. He's chuffed.
Great point, and they've been such a good combination that started in TCR Australia racing and has come over to Monochrome GT4 Australia. So the two leaders pit with inside of each other right at the end of the pit stop window. The McLaren will have the shorter pit stop by 15 seconds compared to the Lubramax Mustang. It feels like right now the task is against Mediki Motorsport. Tanea McLeod, videographer for the series, watching on in pit lane, getting some cool shots for the socials and broadcast down the road.
And really, we're going to see Max Gagan there giving Tom Heyman some tuition before getting back out there, or some heads up on the conditions out there on the track.
Yeah, saying something about the right-handers he was talking about.
Yeah, and basically at this point, really the Lubramax team, they're going to have to hope for a safety car effectively, because that McLaren's going to leave the pits with to the tune of about 15 seconds head start. So really, Ryland Gray is going to be hoping and praying for a safety car, because that at this point may be the only thing that can bring them back in the fight, because we know how fast Tom Heyman is. Him and Max Gagan effectively doing the exact same lap time in their qualifying sessions. So that's really what he's going to be hoping for to try and spice up this race, as we see the McLaren going down the lane now.
And that will be so frustrating for Ryland Gray, sitting there waiting. And there is nothing he can do about it. Got the stopwatch on, the Mustang fires up, the Coyote Ford V8 will power away, but this is going to have to be a massive drive from Ryland Gray. They lead the Silver Championship right now, but if things finish the way they are, that Method Motorsport McLaren would retake the lead, having lost it yesterday. That's the championship context. It's as simple as that, basically. This car must win today. The Method Motorsport McLaren is the one right now in the box seat.
And we see there Jared Hughes coming out of turn one, down the back straight, trying to chase down Ryland Gray in the Mustang. So that's the podium right there. We saw the McLaren go past, and then about 15 seconds later we see Ryland Gray come out of the pits with Jared Hughes in behind him. So we see there Camilleri going down the inside of one of the Mustangs, and that's Keat, I think, in that car now.
Yep, he's taken over the 99 Motorsport car from Marcus Liddell. That will be for position 4th and 5th. George, fingers crossed, debriefing with his old man. It's up to the motor racing gods now for the Mediki Motorsport team. A clean stop for Method Motorsport. Team co-owned by Chaz Mostert, who's here this weekend. So much so involved is Chaz that he was up in the series office this morning finding the replacement stickies he needed to get this car patched up after the damage yesterday. Across the line goes Tom Heyman. What's on the way? Wade replay, easy for some to say. Off the road.
That 66 car, the BMW again, the Palermo car again, smashing through one of the Tony Quinn signs. Josie Spillane won't be too happy about that.
No, that sign has been attacked brutally this weekend on several occasions.
Yeah, and that car's been in the wars today, hasn't it? That's about the 3rd or 4th time we've seen it go off the road. So clearly not their day today in the 66, but we see now a battle between James Sachs in the 56 car, 777 of Callahan, and Cameron Crick in the 118 Campbell car.
Let's go to the Shannons pit lane, Rusty.
Just to update you on the Bio Brew BMW that you saw there a moment ago too, the Randall Racing crew have brought that into pit lane. It's an ABS failure, we're being told, with that car, and for that team, obviously something for the drivers to get used to. If they're not experienced at dealing with that and driving around that, so to speak.
Yeah, thanks for that, Rusty. So as we suspected with the 66 car, it was locking brakes, and that's usually a sign of ABS failure, because a car with ABS anti-lock brake system shouldn't be locking brakes. So clearly a failure of some sorts there, and it made even harder if you don't have experience driving a car without ABS, because when those tyres lock, it's very hard to regain control. So going to be a long day, or long last 20 minutes for the number 66 crew.
This is a great battle. 9th, 10th and 11th place on the road at the moment. The Porsche versus the Mustang. So it's Cameron Crick behind the wheel of the D.A. Campbell Transport Racing car. That stunning orange and yellow highlighted livery takes me back actually to some of the rusty French Sky Sands cars back in the 80s. in the great race at Bathurst, which is where Dean Campbell hails from. He's chasing down Nathan Callaghan, who's behind the wheel of the Legrand Porsche from Method Motorsport. And this is a really entertaining fight with the Mercedes AMG just tucked up behind them as well. James Sachs in the mix with a grunt from the Mustang powering out of the Porsche Dipper into turn 10. The 6 drone cam shows you how wide this corner is. Look at all the road you've got to use on the outside, but the racing line is hugging that white line on the inside almost all the way around.
I think that debris that was in the middle of the road coming out of the Porsche Dipper, I think Cameron Crick's actually run over that, and now we can see it under the splitter of the 118 Mustang there. He was trying to go for a move around the outside, or down the outside, down the back straight on the 777 Porsche, and he's actually ended up running over the debris. So hopefully that will end up flying under the car and away, because that's not going to be helping the handling of that car. Going down into the brake zone now, jumps on the brakes. Yeah, it's a Pirelli piece of some sort, maybe a piece of a rear bar or front bumper off one of the cars out there after some contact.
19 minutes remaining in this one. The margin, 21 seconds the race lead. It's a very, very big gap back to Ryland Gray. Tom Heyman, the race leader, will give you a lap time check when they come by. Past the strike next time by to see what this battle for the lead is like in the remaining 18 minutes. One minute 38.46 the lap for Tom Heyman in Method Motorsports number 25 McLaren. We wait the 20-odd seconds back to Ryland Gray, who flashes across the line in the Lubramax Mustang to 1 minute 38.4. Identical lap times, almost to the 10th of a second, to the 100th of a second for the 2 leaders. The quickest on the racetrack is the car in 3rd place right now. Jared Hughes has got the Mercedes AMG wound up. 38.0 was the quickest lap of the race last time by. That's the leading trio in the silver class and outright as we go to the Shannons pit lane with Greg Rust.
Just a quick update on the Cameron Crick Mustang. I've just wandered in and had a word to Dean Campbell and the crew there. That issue at the front, that debris that he's picked up, is not hampering that car at all. He's just a little bit grumpy that he can't clear the car in front, that's all.
It's very unlike a racing car driver to be grumpy.
Yeah, so as we saw here, this is what I picked up from the 6th drone cam. So see, there's a bit of debris in the middle of the road, and Cameron Crick just ran straight into it. Obviously, maybe didn't see it, and he was obviously gunning for the pass there on the 777 car, and unfortunately ran into it. So great to hear from the team that it's obviously not affecting it, and he's actually just made the move there on Callaghan in the 777 car. So Cameron Crick has now managed to get through, and that's going to be some much-needed fresh, cold air on the front tyres of that Ford Mustang. And looking actually back through the times there, Krause, on those timings, the Gummersall Seaton Mustang was actually the 2nd fastest car on the previous lap. They did a 38.1, so only a 10th off the time that Jared Hughes did, which was the fastest lap of the race so far. So Jared Hughes has got speed at the moment, but maybe not quite enough speed at this stage to be challenging or catching Ryland Gray and Tom Heyman, who are both doing low 38s as well, out in front. So the gaps have started to decrease a little bit. Still about a 21.5 second gap out the front there, but Jared Hughes has just done the fastest lap of the race again with a 1 minute 38.037. So he's on fire at the moment in that 888 run JGI Mercedes AMG GT4.
Correct myself before as well, though certainly the parts 888, but not the car. You need to go to Germany to buy that, to Falterback, the customer racing enterprise for Mercedes AMG. Remarkable product. I love the fact they kept the normally aspirated 6.2 litre engine in the GT3 car too. See them later on today here at Repco Next Gen NZ. The final race and a title decider in GT World Challenge Australia, powered by AWS, still to come your way. 15 minutes to go. The battle is on for the championship in the silver class out in front. And right now it would go the way of Max Gagan and Tom Heyman, who lead this race over George Medicki and Ryland Gray. They're matching lap time for lap time at the moment. The difference is the 21 seconds in track position between them. This car is 3rd on the road and 3rd in the silver class. Wanted to give a shout out to the AM class leader, Ronan, which is Marcus Liddell and Jared Kite, who's behind the wheel of the number 21 99 Motorsport Ford Mustang. They've had a couple of seconds this season in the AM class, yet to grab a race win. So they'd love to get one in the final race of the season. But they've got Jacob Lawrence right behind them And Jacob's got a little history of stealing them in the final laps, like he did yesterday, looking to go back-to-back in the AM class. Rusty.
I've just wanted in to have a word with Summer Rintle, who's been cutting a few laps in here. Are you a bit nervous? How's it all going?
Yeah, it's a little bit nervous. Definitely not as nervous as yesterday, but it's a long race and just saw us go past. It looks like we're doing pretty well. So hopefully all goes well and hopefully we get that third in the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great season for you guys, hasn't it? Be a nice way to wrap it up.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a rough start getting disqualified from the first race, but ever since then it's been lots and lots of podiums, a couple of penalties, but other than that, it's been a wicked, wicked season.
We'll take that away. Wicked is the word. You can go back and enjoy that. Thank you. Brock Feeney is in the garage. And here's Zoe too, because this is your second visit to New Zealand, coming over a little earlier in the year. Has that been helpful?
Yeah, it definitely has been helpful. It was great to head over here at the start of the year and be back here at the end. It's great.
Give us a report card on the 2025 season. We've enjoyed it, have you?
Yeah, we had a great start at Phillip Island and all the rest, and I think we've just had a little bumpy road with the car that we've got and the BOP and all the rest of it, but everyone's going to complain about that, aren't they? So I'm just another one adding to the list of that. But no, we've had a pretty good year, and TechWorks have been amazing, and Nash has been an amazing person to have been mentoring me and helping me along the way. So yeah, we've done enough, and we think that we've put our best effort in that we could have this year, and yeah, that is what it is now, and we'll leave it up to the racing gods.
Exactly. Speaking of that, I think there's a car off at turn 2. Thank you for talking with us.
Thank you.
Rusty there is down in the Shannons pit lane. I wonder if those racing gods have got another twist in their tail at the end of Monochrome GT4 Australia. The Race Lab Toyota Supra is parked on the infield at turn 2. It's a key overtaking opportunity. It's a big braking point here at Hampton Downs. Is this a twist in the end? Does this bring out a safety car potentially and take a 21-second race lead for this car and turn it into nothing?
As we discussed a little bit earlier, Richard Crail, that this could have been a possibility, and if this leads to a safety car, which we haven't seen any boards or flags just yet, but if it does, then this could, as we said, could completely change the complexion of this race. Jarrett Hughes has been quietly closing in on Ryland Gray the last couple of laps, and Tom Heyman, although he's got a very comfortable lead out the front, should we decide to get a safety car, this could change things hugely. So that stricken Toyota Supra there, the Golden Homes Toyota Supra, and as we see now, we've got safety car boards and flags.
Wow. Safety car on the racetrack. 12.5 minutes to go. The Wade replay will show just a technical issue for the Supra.
Oh,
front's locked.
Maybe an ABS failure for that car as well, but at the same time, an ABS failure is probably not something you'd want to be parking over the side of the road for. And then he's reversed over the curbs there, back onto the road. So something's obviously occurred. We see it, there was actually a big black line there on the road, so maybe it was a big lock-up. But either way, the safety car's been released, as we see there. That's actually going to give Greg Murphy a bit of relief because he had Tom Heyman chasing him down there. So puts Murph back on the lead lap. And if we see any safety car restart antics from Murph like we saw yesterday, then we'll be in for a treat.
So yesterday, a few cars went quite early on the restart, which they were not supposed to do. It's been strongly clarified overnight where the point you can overlap is, and it's after the control line, which is the start-finish line. There was some confusion over that in race 1 yesterday, and some people went properly early. No penalties were dished out. They understood they needed to clarify that overnight, which they've done. There was also another driver's briefing held this morning just to tidy up some of the crazy stuff that went on in race 1 yesterday, and it's paid off because the driving standards today have been generally outstanding. But we have got a fight on our hands now. A 21-second lead for Tom Heyman vanishes. It disappears into thin air. And Ryland Gray, all of a sudden, will find himself right behind the Method Motorsport McLaren. For the Silver Class Championship, just to recap, if car 25 finishes in front, it wins. But it has to win the race to get the maximum points, 25 points for a race win. If Ryland Gray finishes second, they get 18 points. The McLaren wins the championship by 1 single championship point. If the Mustang gets in front, it swings the other way, and the Lubrimax team will lift the trophy. It's as simple as that. It's all to play for, and it is going to be a grandstand finish. keep an eye out, I think, for Jared Hughes in third place in that Mercedes AMG. He could be the one to benefit from this big time.
I was just about to say that, Richard. Personally, out of that top three, the car I would be most worried about is that 87 JGI Mercedes AMG GT4 car, because that car, the last 3 or 4 laps, Jared Hughes has done fastest lap after fastest lap, so clearly a lot of speed in the 87 car, and Tom Heyman and Ryland Gray have been no slouches the last 3 or 4 laps. They've been very fast as well, but not quite as quick as that Mercedes, so this is going to be a really exciting end to this race to see, can Jared Hughes maintain that pace and make his way past the top 2. Ryland Gray's also getting the opportunity he wanted, because that 15 seconds longer they had to spend in the pit lane is now negated, as we see there Max Gagan on the screen watching on. Serious look on his face there. He had a great stint earlier on. Oh, there's a smile. But no, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. And Nash Morris has now moved into 4th place as well in Zoe Woods' number 210 TechWorks Porsche Cayman GT4. So there's a couple of lap traffic there in between, one of the Mercedes and the Morris Finance BMW, but Nash is not too far behind either. And we saw how aggressive he was yesterday. He was throwing some passes down the inside of people, so no doubt he won't be afraid to do that again today and try and get himself and Zoe on the podium for TechWorks Motorsport.
So the BMW M safety car slows the field down, and there'll be a deep pause as we fight for the end of this race. Great crowd here this weekend. It's been a really, really positive start to the Repco Next Gen NZ Championship. I think part of it is too, there's so much access for fans here, and very shortly they're going to be allowed into the pit lane for a pit walk. It's a great opportunity to see the cars and stars of Monochrome GT4 Australia, and in particular GT World Challenge Australia, as they get set for their championship defining race. So really cool access. There's grid walks as well here this weekend, and a very popular autograph session before. So that grid walk is going to be, and the pit lane walk in particular, is going to be really popular, and if you bought a ticket you get access to that. So great fan inducements, I suppose, for those attending the Repco Next Gen NZ Championship.
Pretty cool as well, just in behind Tom Heyman there, you've got 3 young blokes that made their debuts in the Bathurst 1000 not too long ago, only a couple of weeks ago, just prior to the Gold Coast 500. So Ryland Gray, Jared Hughes and Nash Morris all racing in the 1000 not that long ago. All Super 2 drivers as well. Morris and Gray competing for the championship, going into the last round at the Adelaide 500. So pretty cool there. Tom Heyman's going to have a bit of pressure on his shoulders there with 3 young fast chargers in behind him, but we know he is also one of those young fast chargers with that stellar lap time he did in qualifying yesterday, and he's done a stellar job so far in this race. So we shouldn't be too far away there as we see the stricken race lap Toyota Supra getting towed off the track. So hopefully we're not too far away from a race restart.
It's a really good point you make too about the level of ability of these kids, and let's be honest, they are at the pointy end of this field that are driving those 4 leading cars now. Tom Heyman, Ryland Gray, Jared Hughes and Nash Morris. Awesome talent. The future of our sport is bright and healthy. They were going to battle this out. Nash has got 2 lap cars to work his way through, so the Morris BMW is in there a lap down, so they need to get past that. I think the other one, so that's Jay Murray behind the wheel. The other one's the Robin Bailey Love AM-Class Mercedes AMG, who are just in between Nash Morris and the back of the Jared Hughes Mercedes. So Nash will deal with those relatively quickly and try and buy himself into this. We mentioned the fact that the Merc's been looking for a race win all season, so too TechWorks for the Porsche Cayman. So I wonder if Nash can deliver them one in this finale. So many storylines to play out in the next 6 minutes.
And that's all Nash will be thinking about, is how quickly can I clear that BMW and that Mercedes and get myself into that fight with those 3 cars ahead. And obviously Ryland Gray and Jared Hughes, he's got plenty of experience racing them not only in this class but in Super 2 this year. So he's going to be eager to get that TechWorks Porsche up the front there and try and get it into the top 3. It's looking like we're going to see the safety car in this lap, so we should be green flag racing with just under 5 minutes to go shortly. So don't go anywhere, folks. This is going to be a cracking finish to race 2 here for the Monochrome GT4 Australia Championship here at the Alliance Services Hampton Downs GT International.
What a debut it's been on Kiwi soil for standalone GT4 racing, and it comes down to a shootout. whoever finishes in front, essentially, of this race, first or second outright, will win the championship. That's the maths. It's that simple.
It's literally winner takes all.
And Ryland Gray has the job to do. He leads the Super 2 Championship, recently announced just this week while we were here in New Zealand as the replacement for Will Davison at Dick Johnson Racing, one of the most iconic teams in the sport. His career is on a rapid upwards trajectory. Could he progress into supercars as a GT4 and Super 2 champion? This could be the first tick in that box. Or Method Motorsport, Chaz Mostert's team. Speaking about drivers in form, Chazzy, as a team owner, could get a victory as well, potentially, for McLaren and the Artura with Max Gagan and Tom Heyman, and defend what they did in a brilliant season last year as well. It's all to play for. There'll be 4 minutes to go when they get the green flag. Tom Heyman has all the pressure on his shoulders. The lights are flashing for Ryland Gray in the Lubramax Ford Mustang.
Yeah, Ryland's just doing everything he can to try and distract Tom Heyman, put him under pressure, make him sweat at the restart here, try and catch him off guard to try and get past, and they need to get going because Jared Hughes has got bundles of speed and that 87 Mercedes AMG GT4 run by 888 Race Engineering.
Look at Hughesy menacing, trying to just get the nose out there and remind these two title contenders that he's in it. The green flies. It's up to Tom Heyman now to pick the go point. 3.5 minutes to decide a championship. There's Morse code from the Mustang on the back of the McLaren. The games have started and they're not even at racing speed. Away we go. Championship on the line in Monochrome GT4 Australia. Great jump from Heyman. He left it right to the bitter end before he had to go, and it's worked to perfection. He's got a car length and a half over the Ford Mustang, down the long back straight before the big stop towards turn 2.
And Nash Morris has already cleared both of those the lap traffic down towards turn 2. He's managed to get past Murray, and he's now right in behind Jared Hughes. So it's gone from a 3-car battle for the race win to 4-car battle, and all 4 cars are made at different manufacturers. We've got a McLaren, a Ford, a Mercedes, and a Porsche.
And if I know TechWorks Racing, they will have said to Nash Morris, go forth, young man, send it. Do what you need to do to win this race. So the car in 4th place could be among the most racy of them all. Jake Camilleri 5th on the road. Jacob Lawrence has taken the lead in the AM class, by the way, in the Randall Racing BMW, looking for a sweep this weekend. Dean Campbell and Cameron Crick leading Silver Am. But all our focus on the outright and silver class championship fight. What a restart lap this has been for Tom Heyman. Must win this race to win the championship. And right now he is doing the job.
Heyman's done a great job. He's opened up that gap, that restart. Ryland Gray's still got the headlights flashing, trying to distract him, as you would, and that's what a competitive racing car driver always wants to do. You want to do anything you can try to make your competitor get distracted so you can try and find an opportunity, as we see them coming up the front straight there. 2 minutes to go now. Ryland Gray's managed to stretch his legs and pull away from Jared Hughes as well. Nash Morris is closing in on Hughes there for that 3rd place. So as we see the tyre pressures are just coming up for this last run to the finish, coming through turn 1.
Spare a thought for Max Gagan watching on. The young Queenslander, he's the reigning GR86 champion in Australia. He's on the upward trajectory, he's racing Super 2. He is nervously watching his co-driver on. He's done his part, he built a massive lead, and then watched the safety car extinguish all that hard work in the early phase of this race. And now it's up to his mate, Tom Heyman, to bring this car home and deliver him a championship. And Ryland Gray looms a little bit closer now to the back of the McLaren. There's 1.5 minutes to go in a grandstand finish to Monochrome GT4 Australia.
We know the Mustang's not short of some ponies. It's pretty quick in a straight line, so Ryland's just doing everything he can to try and stay as close to that McLaren through the corners, coming down to the hairpin, down at turn 7 there.
Well, what it is, it's grunt as well, Ronan. It's not just horsepower, it's torque out of those slow speed corners. It's got so much twist, that Coyote V8. The turbocharged grunt of the McLaren Artura is different, and Heyman a little bit wide. Oh, there's stress down at Method Motorsport. Max Gagan, eyes glued to the TV, into turn 10. No sign of a last lap board yet. Suspect there'll be 2 laps remaining in this one. 30 seconds on the clock.
And again, the McLaren comes off the corner a little bit better, but Ryland Gray's got to run up the front straight. He's getting closer and closer. This is going to come down to the final lap. Heyman defends. Ryland Gray goes wide down towards turn 1 into the braking zone.
This is for the championship. Ryland's going to get a better run out of turn 1. Can he use that momentum to tow up behind the McLaren? Heyman blocks immediately, covers the racing line down the inside. He says if Ryland Gray wants it, he's going to have to send it. He backs the Mustang into turn 2. There's smoke off the tyres. There's contact between them. Championship exploding at the moment. Tom Heyman gripping on to victory at the moment, but Ryland Gray is throwing everything he's got at the McLaren. They're wheel to wheel into turn 5.
Heyman did a great job defending him there. He ran out in the boonies a little bit on the exit of turn 3 there, getting through turn 4. The Mustangs managed to stay there, so what are we going to see happen when we get through the double B corner and up to the hairpins?
If the Lubrimax Mustang passes the McLaren, it wins the championship. That's the maths. It's as simple as that. Looming behind is Jared Hughes. They've dropped the TechWorks Porsche as well. They've got Nash Morris about 1.5 seconds back. He's not a factor at the moment.
I have a feeling we're going to get the last lap board coming around for this final time out of the final corner coming up the back straight. He's got the lights going on again. Down to the final corner. And now onto the front straight. Can Ryland Gray get the power down to that Mustang? Can he get a run up the front straight? He's about as close as he was on the last lap. Come up through.
This is where the Mustang is at its best, Ronan. That torque, that grunt out of the slow speed corners. Again, he goes to the outside. This is going to be a carbon copy of the last time round. If Heyman can hang on, he's going to be in a great position. But Ryland Gray once again has got a great run. There's bits of debris flying off the front of the Mustang. It's on the final lap. This is all for the championship, for all the marbles in Monochrome GT4 Australia. Heyman defends. Ryland Gray, what sort of drive can he get out of turn 2?
This may be his final opportunity. He got a good run down the straight. It's nose to tail between the McLaren and the Mustang. Coming through turn 4 now as he gives him another nudge in the back there. Ryland Gray's getting aggressive now. He's really trying everything he can to try and get past Tom Heyman. They come up to the double B corner now. Heyman's got heaps of corner speed going in there. He's managed to extend that gap ever so slightly. Ryland Gray takes a slightly different line.
It's the Porsche dipper or it's nothing at this point, you feel, as they enter the final stages of a compelling Monochrome GT4 Australia race. Ryland Gray's going to have to get a mega run out of here and try and do something with the grunt of the Mustang on the run up the hill. Can it be mistake-free for Tom Heyman? This is a championship-winning drive, potentially, for Method Motorsport, for the young star. The team at Method Motorsport cheering him on. They'll run to the pit wall. He's got to survive one corner after a massive, massive attack from Supercar's newest star, Tom Heyman. He's going to win the championship in the final race of the season by winning in Monochrome GT4 Australia. Method Motorsport and McLaren have done the job. Tom Heyman and Max Gagan, well done. You are Monochrome GT4 Australia champions. And what a way to deliver a championship. One of the best finishes to a GT4 race yet.
Oh, we've got some trouble at the end there. A couple of cars have gone off, unfortunately, on the last lap there, on the last corner, but doesn't take anything away from Max Gagan and Tom Heyman. What a victory, what a race, and what a finish to that race.
How was the pressure from Ryland Gray? It was relentless, it was unyielding, and Tom Heyman did not bat an eyelid.
He held on like a champion, managing to fend off Ryland Gray, who, as we know, has just been recently signed by Dick Johnson Racing. So, brilliant drive from Heyman. Hughes coming home there in third in the 888 car, the 87 car. Nash Morris fading a little bit towards the end there in the 210. The TechWorks car just didn't quite have the steam at the end to challenge Hughes for the third place, but great drive nonetheless by Nash and Zoe Woods. As we see there, the Method Motorsport team celebrating the victory and the championship.
Oh, where's Chaz? He might have been a bit stressed watching all that unfold. This is a guy that's won the Bathurst 1000 twice, having to watch his team fight for a championship. Confirmation of results. The McLaren beats the Ford in the end, and provisionally the Silver Class Championship will be decided by 1 point. 1 point the difference between them at the end. Mercedes home in third with Summer Untul and Jared Hughes. Rob Woods and Nash Morris fourth. Dean Campbell and Cameron Cricky blazed home in the end there to grab the Silver Am class victory. And what a good recovery from Tim Berryman and Daniel Frugas in the Supra. Remember, turned around mid-race there, and they end up second in class. So they're going to get a trophy after all of that. Not entirely sure how, but good on them. And Chris Lillis and Nathan Callahan get the Am class win too. So that all changed hands late. I wonder if that had something to do with all the cars flying off the road at the run up to the start-finish line at the end there as well. Wowee. A lot to take in out of that one. But that is a championship drive. The ability to withhold the pressure from that from Tom Heyman was elite level race car driving.
Yeah, and we saw him at times out in the dirt a little bit. He was doing everything he could to hold Ryland Gray off, and he did a brilliant job. He'll be absolutely ecstatic with that one, Tom Heyman, and the McLaren didn't let him down. They held on. He maximised the strengths of that car where he needed to. As we look at the highlights from race 2.
What a way to end the Monochrome GT4 Australia Championship. An extraordinary finish. It was a must-win scenario for the Lubramax Mustang or the Method Motorsport McLaren, and it delivered in spades, as this season has done since the opening round way back at the start of the year at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. Plenty of battles all the way through the field. The Porsches were carving each other up early. Really good, hard, clean racing for the most part. This was for position Summer Rintoul. Really key pass in the end that helped them get up to third place. Suzanne and Liv Palermo had a tough day with some ABS issues in the 66 car.
Yeah, they were some big smoke signals that car was sending, and they did a great job not to actually end up hitting anything or damaging anything in that one. So they managed to keep it going right to the end. As we see there, the restart, Ryland Gray was all up the back of Tom Heyman. Going down the inside there, then he tried to go the outside, the inside again, almost had a big moment, almost locked up there. Then he gave him a bit of a nudge there to say, hey, I'm trying to come through.
That just did a little bit of damage to the front of the Mustang. Didn't affect the car though. And Heyman then resisted a final challenge on the final lap and brought that car home to win the championship in the silver class. Now this is what happened at the end. So the Supra spins on the outside. Wow, Rob Love, what a save that was. Diving across in the Love Motorsport AMG to get out of the way. And down in the Allied Petroleum victory lane, celebrations for Method Motorsport. There are the two boys. They had to win today to win the championship. And that is exactly what they've done.
Great drive from Tom Heyman and Max Gagan to take out not only the race win, but the championship. You can see there the Method Motorsport team down there celebrating with the boys.
The team did an amazing job to get the car back out. Thank you.
It's like the F1 cool-down room, isn't it? Just getting what the drivers are saying there. Talking to the social media guru from SRO Motorsport Group who promote this great championship, Michael Stratus there, just getting the quotes from Tom Heyman. What a drive, Greg Rust. A championship-winning drive for Tom Heyman and Max Gagan.
He's breathing a sigh of relief. You had to work for that, the both of you, didn't you? That must feel pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think I was pretty happy while the safety car didn't come out. Absolutely awesome race, but yeah, completely lost for words. Max did an awesome job in the first stint, and yeah, we're going to definitely celebrate tonight.
And you rightly have earned the chance to do that. What a difference 24 hours can make. You were frustrated yesterday. Gun stint from you today, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I probably got a bit too emotional yesterday with it, but full faith in the team. Obviously, they turned the car around and delivered us an amazing package for today, and yeah, just made sure Tommy had a good car to fight at the end, because you never know what can happen. Obviously, a safety car, as it did happen. So, yeah, just, oh my God, I can almost kiss him.
Let's not do that. Hey, I mean, for us as fans, that's one to savour. What does that mean to Method Motorsport? You know, the past 12 months, what you've both been able to achieve with this organisation?
Yeah, I think this year's probably been a lot harder than what everyone expected. A lot of competition. Last night and yesterday afternoon was probably the toughest. The team, toughest scenario team's gone through, and we all just gelled together and got the car back together, and yeah, it was fast today, that's for sure.
A couple of young blokes with a bright future. Congratulations to the both of you on what you've done in season 2025. They shake their hands. Why don't we move on over? Let's get Dean and Cameron Crick over, please, for our Silver Am interviews. Come on over. Team will do a baton change here. I gather you're feeling a little bit happier now. Were you frustrated in that race?
Yeah, I was a little bit. Yesterday was a bit disappointing. We've sort of put ourselves in a good spot to maybe still try and take the championship for Silver M, obviously, but it was a little bit disappointing, but we spoke about it this morning. All we wanted to do was come back today and win in our class, which we did. Dean's just, drove amazing for a truckie. He's driving really well. So stoked for him. He's obviously invested a lot, so happy days.
Well, I mean, thrilled that you're enjoying this championship so much. That reset overnight's really important, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a real shame yesterday the way it played out, and we've had a fantastic year racing Aaron and Jace. It's been fantastic to race with Cam. He's a great contributor and a good friend of mine, and we went so close. We didn't quite get there, but we'll come back next year and do it all again, and we're very, very happy for the first year to end up second and be close to winning. Was really good.
We're really pleased to hear that at the end of a big season for you as you continue to build as a racer. Being a part of this with a mate and with a good team, those miles are invaluable, aren't they?
Yeah, we have a really good time. He probably didn't want to say it, but I think a few beers helped us last night, settle the nerves, and we go again today. But that's what we do. We have a lot of fun when we go away racing, and as you said, we've become really good mates. We talk every day, and this is special to finish the year like this. As I said, a little bit disappointing yesterday, but grateful for today.
You will get the chance to celebrate at the awards tonight. Congratulations to the both of you. Why don't we bring over now, if we can, please, our AM class winners in the race. If we get Chris Lewis and Nathan Callahan to come on over. Congratulations to the both of you. That is a ripping way to end the 2025 season, isn't it?
Yeah, yesterday was a roller coaster of emotions. Started off with a great pole and then ended up with finishing on the back of the tow truck after turn one. So to wrap it up today with a win, it's great.
Lots of great battles in that class in season 2025. To do that here across the ditch in New Zealand, what's that mean?
Yeah, it's been good to travel, and it's so well organised, this series. So to come and do something special like this, I hope we do something like that again.
Yeah, we'd love to see a little something like that as a part of the championship. Looking ahead to 2026, can you keep building on what you've done here this year?
I definitely think so. So every time we've been back to a track we've been up before, we've been strong. So hopefully next year we'll be pretty strong.
That is the perfect way then to conclude the season. Congratulations to the both of you. Nice work today. We will reset here as the drivers head on off. Why don't we get into podium mode? If I can get a little thumbs up from our organising team here. We've got some champagne. We are set, I think, for the first of our podiums. We're going to go back to back with a whole heap of them here. So why don't we do our silver class podiums first? So welcome everybody to the presentation, the podium for the 2025 Monochrome GT4 Australia, race 2 of the weekend, round 6 here at Hampton Downs. Delighted to have with us once again to present the trophies today, Steve McLaughlin on behalf of Pirelli, our great partners. Let's welcome the top 3 place cars, everybody, from the silver class. In the 87 for JGI 888 Racing, how about making some noise for Jared Hughes and Summer Rental? In second place for Midiki Motorsport with Lubramax in the Ford Mustang. Ladies and gentlemen, a fight right to the end. Rylan Gray, George Midiki. Just grabbing their sash off camera there. We'll run in. Good job. And in first position, it went right to the wire. We were treated to a heck of a battle this year in Method Motorsports McLaren Artura GT4. Be generous in your applause. It's Tom Heyman and Max Gagan! I'll take the top spot on the podium there. We'll give our media from both Australia and New Zealand who've come all the way over from Hampton Downs to be a part of that. That is a very hearty handshake. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your Monochrome GT4 Australia silver winners. At the base of their feet is some champagne. What a way to wrap up the 2025 season. Drivers, time for the celebrations. And I think there will be a little bit more of that this evening at the awards night for both GT3 and GT4, which will be happening here in New Zealand, back in Auckland. We'll do a little reset here with the help of the team from both SRO and from Hampton Downs, because we have 3 podiums to get through here. I think we're set here for the Silver Am Cup podium, so we've got the okay. Thank you very much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, please now welcome our top 3 placed combos and cars and drivers from the Silver Am Cup. In third place today, how about making some noise in the 71 from Gomersall Motorsport, Aaron Seaton and Jason Gomersall. as they collect the trophy there. We go to second place now, representing GWR Australia. Garth will be pumped about this too. Good effort in the Toyota GR Supra. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Frugas, Tim Berryman. And your first place drivers in Silver Am Cup here at Hampton Downs in race 2. Driving the D.A. Campbell Transport Ford Mustang, it's Cameron Crick and Dean Campbell. Head on up to the podium there. They battle each other on the track, but lovely mateship at the end of the season here. Big season 2 for the sport. And if you follow the website, the calendar for 2026 is even bigger. Lots of very exciting things to come. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your Monochrome GT4 Australia Silver Am Cup winners. Drivers, time for the celebrations. Quite the job, dancing and staying out the way of champagne. Our team here are very good at the reset. The media are sticking around too. Big thank you to the fans here at Hampton Downs who've come to celebrate in Victory Lane. I think we are ready for our winners now in the Am Cup. I think we're just about set from a trophy and champagne perspective. Why don't we do that? We'll move into the next of our podiums. Ladies and gentlemen, let's please welcome here at Hampton Downs the winners in race 2 of the Am Cup. In third place for Gomersall Motorsport in the BMW M4 GT4. How about it for Glenn Walker? We had quite the contingent of Kiwis integrating this weekend, and this fella has done a super job as well. For Kinloch Club in the Mercedes AMG GT4, give it up for James Sachs. And we had a great chat with them before. In the Method Motorsport Porsche Cayman GT4 RS, how about making some noise? In the 777 for Nathan Callahan and Chris Lillis. We'll capture the moment. Thank you, drivers. Nice and smiley. Hold those trophies up. Just work it for the media. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your Monochrome GT4 Australia Am Cup winners. How about it? Grab that champagne. Let's rip into the celebrations.
And this was the final lap, the final stages of an utterly compelling championship. Ronan Murphy, how's the stress down at Method Motorsport?
Yeah, they're certainly jumping for joy, but I think there are a few jitters coming up to that last couple of corners because Ryland Gray did get very close. We saw a bit of Mustang war paint end up on the back of that Method Motorsport McLaren, but Tom Heyman did a brilliant job just to hold on. We see there he's got everything going, coming up across the line. Max Gagan still didn't have a smile on his face at that point. He was that nervous, and finally they made it across the line, and we saw the elation down there in the pits. The whole team obviously very, very happy, and Chaz Mostert, team owner, is taking a championship win. I'm sure he'll be very, very proud, and he'll be looking to do that later on again for himself in a few weeks' time in Adelaide.
He will indeed. Nicely said, Ronan Murphy. Let's go down and celebrate our champion show. It's back to Greg Rust in Allied Petroleum Victory Lane.
Kralsey, thank you. James Sachs, I think, has brought the family up to the podium here, just off to the side. We are all set for a very special podium, and it's great that the crowd here in New Zealand, there are lots of Aussies that have come across to be a part of this, here too. Welcome, everybody, to the next of our podium presentations, and these are very special. These are the 2025 Monochrome GT4 Australia champions. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please put your hands together and welcome our GT4 Australia Silver Class champions in 2025 from Method Motorsport, Max Gagan, Tom Heyman. They've grabbed that check. They'll head up to the podium and we'll continue to add to the podium here. Can we now welcome, be generous, equally generous in your applause, for our Silver AM class champions. How about it? From Gomersall Motorsport, great year for this combo. Jason Gomersall, Aaron Seaton! Here we go, nice check for you. He's pretty happy about it too. They'll venture on up to capture the moment. And in the meantime, let's do the baton change for the next one. How about putting your hands together for the AM class champion from Randall Racing. Terrific season for Jacob Lawrence. And we have one very special final check to present. We recognise the great efforts of the teams in 2025. Would you please welcome our overall teams champion for the season, Method Motorsport. Is there a representative? If not, we'll get Tom and Max to do that. Here comes Chaz. Here he comes, wandering around. Why don't the three of you head on up to the podium there and celebrate it together? Jump on up. Got some Method Motorsport, some of the guys and girls who've travelled all around Australia and then come across to New Zealand for the year. It's a great team, this, and they do some wonderful things to inspire the next generation of racers, something that that Chaz in particular is very passionate about. We'll gather them all together, capture a little photo of the moment. Could I ask all of you that are gathered here in Victory Lane, how about a nice round of applause for all of our champions in 2025 in Monochrome Australia GT4.
Yeah! That was live. Yeah!
The champagne is flowing at the end of a terrific season of Monochrome Australia GT4, but you know what? We are only at the halfway mark on Sunday here at Hampton Downs. Massive afternoon to come your way after the lunch break. We'll break for about 50 minutes, GT3 to come and a whole lot more. Stay with us.